Now in this lecture we will learn how to deploy our server to a Heroku cloud-based server. And I want to make it clear that this lecture is totally optional. You only use it if you want. And the reason that I'm doing this lecture is because in the future, and if you are using both iOS and Android simulator at the same time, you will have issues when uploading an image. And that's because the image will upload with their own URL, and the URL will be based on the current server that we have. So in the case of iOS will be localhost 3000, and the case of Android will have that different string. And then the image will only be shown in the devices that uploaded them. And for that I will create a cloud-based server. It's an easy and fast solution, and like that we can tackle this issue. But again, it's totally optional for you. If you are using only one device, you will have absolutely no problem, and you can skip this lecture. Okay, so to begin with, we have to stop our server first. So Ctrl C, and then we will open our server. So code dot, and here we have to make some changes. So in our app.js we have the app listen here, that we will listen to our application in the localhost 3000, and we can mark this as development. And now we can have another one for production. And the production one we will say var server, and we have the app listen again, and that will have the process env port or the 3000. Then we'll pass a function, and the function will return the var port, and we'll say server address port. Then we also can console log it, just to give it a message so we can see something in our environment. So Express is working on port, and you see port. Now we cannot forget to comment this out as well, so we will not have any issue, and then we can save it. And now we will open the web browser, and in our web browser we will use GitHub. If you don't have GitHub, or if you don't know what GitHub is a source code manager. We can store our code there, our applications, and work as a team with branches, and allows us to do very fast development and to keep our code safe. So if you don't have it, please create an account. Set, we can press new, and now we can create our repository, and that will be easy. Shop server. Now we can create a repository, and will give us with some options. So first we come to our terminal again, and we say git init to initiate a repository, and then we will copy this remote app origin, to say git copy, to connect our folder to this repository, and then we will say git add all, then git commit, and give it a message. We'll say first commit, and now we'll say git push, and this git push will give us this message and we can copy to set our branch upstream. So we can copy, set it upstream, and we have our branch already set up there, and then we can check the status. So git status, nothing to commit, and now we can check our repository, and we have all our content here, so it's working fine. So next step for this, we will use Heroku now. If you don't know, please create an account in Heroku. It's a deployment method and it's free, so you can use it for free until a certain level. So after you create your account, you will have your dashboard, and your dashboard you can create a new application. So we'll say create new app, and for the name I will give it easy shop server, and if it's not available we'll just select another name. And then the region, I am in Europe, so I'll select the closest region to me, and we'll say create app. After that we are directed to this application page, and now we will select the method of deployment. So our method of deployment will be GitHub, and here we can connect to our server. So in this case will be easy shop server. Now we can search, and we did find it, so we can connect. And everything is connected correctly, and now we can just do deploy branch. And then here we can follow the process. And now it's finished, so we'll deploy it successfully. And now the only thing that we need is the connection string. So for that we can just do open app. We have our app here, and we can just copy this URL and go back to our code. Now here in our Visual Studio Code we have this URL calls for our server, so that we have in our machine, and I will comment this for now. And then I will just say let base URL like we did before. Here I pass the string that I have, and also API v1 dash. Okay, now we can save. Then we just need to restart our application, so command Control Z. In this case, on the case of Android, we'll have the command M or Control M, and then we just say reload. And if everything goes fine, so now our application is taking the data from our server. I would advise not to copy this link because I will delete it, but you can use your own or use the base URLs with localhost if you are using a single device.